Hello. Today I wanted to share the part of messages that I shared with Rocky Mountain Zen community last Tuesday. Before I forget, um, it's really an honor, really, and also it's most this is the most genuine part of my uh, I would like to say wish, desire to really get connected with the people in Canada. That's all because of my personal connections, my son's connections. It goes all the way back to my age 16. So there's a lot of personal reasons. But also, um, I have this respect to the country. And because of that, I wanted to share this message. In the Zen practice, we have a lot of people who start this practice for mindfulness, for relaxation, for the physical, emotional well-being, which is wonderful because working with people who are new to the tradition, to this practice, reminds me of those first few several months that was prior to my entry to the monastery. I think I was 20 at the time, and I sat in the morning, waking up like 5 a.m. Sometimes I slept over. So I woke up a little bit later than still sat like 5, 10 minutes before going to bed. Well, actually sat on bed. And those are, no, it wasn't like professional or anything, but it was just, it made me feel good, helped me focus. I think I studied better during those days. I could really feel the benefit of the practice. It was like a young tree with all the green foliage, the leaves, the branches. Then I went to the monastery there, in one of the two head monasteries in Japan. It's called Ah Temple. And there I was naively expecting this tranquil, serene, quiet place with a lot of time and spaciousness. Now that I think about it, I don't know what I was thinking of. I went there as an extension of my interfaith dialogue with the Catholic Jesuit community. Well, at least that's how I interpret it. I had a great opportunity to share my thoughts on Buddhism, Zen practice with the students in the theology department. Uh, so in a sense, I was looking for something, deeply spiritual in a certain way that I had on my mind. I was so expectant to receive this experience. And contrary to my expectation, what was waiting for me in that monastic training was, of course, intense practice. And that was a winter time, and it was so beautiful and quiet. There are days like that. And then there were days where tourist visitors constantly busy, and we have this schedule from the moment we wake up all the way to 9 p.m. when this daily practice is, well, technically over. We don't say it's over because this is 24/7 and it goes on and on. But it was pretty intense. But then at the same time, for people who work in a regular life, who go to companies, who take care of families, that's just life. And for me, who at the time didn't have much experience, I was like, oh, well, it's pretty busy. And then I wasn't quite expecting that. One night, there was a senior monk who was working in the same, should I say, department, same section of the monastery. And he took me out to the patio or courtyard of the temple after 9 p.m. We have a little bit of a window of time where we can, not so much for ourselves, but in between the time we have to go to bed, really. And there's an hour and a little bit more of time to spend. So he and I sat just looking at the moon. It was a beautiful night. He said, I think he was a student from art university. He was studying art. He said, in the monastery, things get really hectic and we get overwhelmed sometimes. But you have to really intentionally have these moments to stop and appreciate this beauty of the surroundings. It's really beautiful. Nature, the beauty of monastery. And he had a cigar in one hand and a piece of chocolate. He says, I love the combination of cigar and chocolate. And I remember that clearly. And that was such a human part, we are both so human. I didn't get to smoke there, but we also faced our own limitations. In a sense, that was so revealing. We start our practice and we expect to receive. Then sometimes things don't go the way we expect. I think it's the same with mindfulness practice, Zen practice. In my perspective, what I thought I experienced there was what I call burning out. Like not burning out spiritually, but it's like a green tree full of excitement, anticipation, go there. Then with a sort of intense atmosphere, it sort of burns out and all the twigs and leaves sort of fall down. Then yet what remains there is like a little charcoal. It burns, but then there's something that survives this process of burning out. Desires drop out. And we sort of get disappointed at ourselves, disappointed with what we see. And that's all because of our own sort of attachment to what the practice should be, how we should be, how the words should be. And the reality flows regardless of what our expectation is. For me, everything that I had, just desires, which I thought was a pure aspiration, kind of burned out. But then when another monk said, you have this process and it's like a field to get burned out. But then still something grows out of it, grows back. There's a greenery come back. And that thing will come back out of the ash is a true aspiration. It won't burn away. It will be with us. It's no longer our desires. The one, it is more of a vow that stays with us regardless. And for me as a parent, was a little bit, I had some similar experience. When I had a child, it's half European, half Asian, I was excited. He's gonna probably learn, of course, English, maybe pick up some Japanese, maybe pick up some English. I wonder what he would look like, half Caucasian, half Asian. So I had all these plans, parental desires, like, this is what my son's gonna do, expectations. But then when he was born with heart condition, born with Down syndrome, that's when we dropped all the expectations. And really, this expectation was gone. Only thing that remained there was our wish that he would be happy, he would live a happy life no matter what. Then our vow to support him, to be around for him no matter what. Buddhist practice is a bit like that. There's a moment, certain stage where we shrug off these expectations. Then come back to that genuine wish for others, genuine aspiration to be of service to others. And that's like the moment we are a little less needy, should I say, then we become not just recipients, but also the givers. And then also the gift itself. And that's the sort of understanding that we develop through the practice, which I clearly didn't have at the time. I'm not really sure I have established that understanding well, but at least that's how we want to keep our practice. That's the way we want to keep our practice in Zen. So that's kind of what I shared with the Rocky Mountain Zen community, my Canadian friends. And I hope this would be something useful, because without a doubt, there'll be moments where you feel like, this isn't working. It's not for me. And I had very many moments like that. So when you encounter such moments, I hope you could sort of discover the resource, the gift in yourself, because you're embodying that gift itself. Thank you.